about Samuel Soul. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, Samuel Soul is going to be a key character moving forward, especially for Jake. And, you know, I think we pretty much finished Jake's flashback or most of it. I think, you know, I don't know if it's a typo or not a typo, like a retcon or an accident or whatever, but they said that Samuel Soul beats Jake at some point. So we don't know where that happens, but we know that Jake whooped Samuel Soul's ass in this instant. Unless next chapter he somehow gets up and still wins. I don't know. But it doesn't look like he beats him in a fair fight. It seems like Jake is stronger than Samuel, which is super interesting because it didn't feel like it was. But maybe he got stronger than him at some point, but we're not sure. But that's not today's video's point. But I just wanted to point that out. Today's video actually focuses on something that I find extremely intriguing, which is just Samuel in general. So let's get right into it. So imagine, you know, growing up, living life and all that shit, right? As a kid, have you ever like wished, oh man, I wish I was in this family instead, or I wish that was my parents, or I wish I lived here. You know, like a lot of kids wanted Will Smith to be their parent, or some kids wanted, I don't know, John Cena to be their parents, right? And you wish that, you know, but those people out there that take that to the extreme level, especially if, you know, if you're parentless, you know, there's a bunch of people that, you know, go to celebrities and say that they're the kid. Like, they're convinced, they believe that, like, they must be their kid because they can't be regular. They must be special. They must be the protagonist. They must be the protagonist of the world, of life itself. Not just their life, but life itself, right? And it's something that I find extremely intriguing. And I feel like Samuel Soul really embodies that type of characteristic, that type of person, that type of persona, right? As somebody that really felt like he deserves more. Like, you know, the fact that he went through the hardship, the fact that his mother hated him, in order to cope with all of that pain, all of that pent up aggression, he made himself believe that his dad must be this super tough, super tugged out mob leader, you know? Because that's what he idolized. That's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be Al Pacino. He wanted to be Scarface. He wanted all of that, you know. And that's the intriguing thing about Samuel Soul that we learn in this flashback, which I think is more of a both of those flashback rather than just a Jake or just a Samuel flashback. And it's intriguing because initially we're thinking they're brothers, right? Half brothers. I accidentally called them twins once, but half brothers, right? So like, you know, that's interesting. I can see why he might be mad about that because, you know, he got, you know, Jake got the love of his father, actually being there, living with them, all of that stuff. But Samuel didn't. But then it turns out that's not even his papa. And Samuel found out a while ago. I don't know if he killed his mother or beat her up to a pulp. I don't know what happened because his mother was smashing him with you know, the toolkits and shit. And I don't know if he fought back. It didn't really show. It just showed him walking away naked, with blood on that thing. Maybe he took it and walked away. But he tried to choke out his own papa when he found out his own papa was just a feeble old man. Not old man, but just a feeble guy. A weak ass, bummy ass looking, regular ass mofo. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that can't be it. I gotta be the star of the show. That cannot be it. And then when Jake's papa died, he felt like, yo, bro, like, I should be the one carrying that picture. Like, that should be my father. You know what I'm saying? And he really tried to stand out. He wanted to eventually go up to him and be like, yo, I'm your son. You know, I'm your bastard son. And, you know, this is, you know, I've climbed up so that I can meet you, you know, face to face and have a conversation. He had these lofty goals, but all of that came crashing down when, well, you just a regular ass mofo, you know? Because when he had hope that was his father, that's what made him stand up and fight and stand up for himself and fight and be more vicious and be more aggressive. Like, do you know, y'all been mocking me for not having a parent? Well, or having a dad. Well, I found my dad, and my dad is crazy. He's a badass. So fuck all of y'all. And he was just going nuts, and he let that overtake him. He let that passion, that drive, that obsession take over his every being, every fiber. You know what I'm saying? And we really see that cultivate in the latest chapter when he, you know, when he's losing it, he's going crazy. He hates Jake, absolutely despises him, and he's barely containing himself, barely holding himself together. And we notice this shift, but we're like, why is he going that crazy about it? And now we know it's addiction, it's obsession. He wishes he was Jake. He wanted to be Jake. And it's something that, you know, Gunn points out. He's like, he seems to be well organized. He just as strong, if not even a bit stronger, more willing to do everything. But why does he feel inferior? He feels inferior because he gave himself this weakness. He gave himself an inferiority complex, and he fucked him up, and he let himself down. You know, so Jake won the battle for Big Deal and took over the Big Deal thing. So I'm intrigued by when he lost, why he lost. Did he change his obsession to gun? That might be the case. He must have a obsessive what's it called? Obsessive disorder, obsessive something disorder. That thing. He must have that. Because then he wanted to be like Gunn. He wanted to follow Gunn. And maybe that's what caused him to get even stronger. To come back, beat Jake and say, look, I'm stronger than the guy that you put in your fate in. Let me be in that position. It's still Jake. He still wants to chase after Jake. He still wants to replace himself with Jake. And it's a psychological thing. I think the author did a brilliant job in this arc. I think this arc was much better than Eli Zhang's one. I think Eli Zhang's ending was extremely powerful because of Ali's death. But Ali Wong's death, but I feel like this one overall has just been beautiful, absolutely sublime. It was strong from the start all the way to the end. One of the best arcs we've read. It's, on par to Vasco's for me, almost. Vasco's made me cry, so like can't be quite there, but nearly there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I just want to talk about Samuel Soul, man. I feel like currently he's more composed. He tried to control himself because that's what Gunn wanted. That's what, he's always putting himself up against other people and wanting to impress other people. He's not really a self-made person. You know what I'm saying? He relies on others, and impressing others, wanting to impress others. That's the only way he sees himself climbing up. He's jealous. He's the jealous type. Strong jealousy. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see somebody so strong, with so much ability, so much leadership, but he fumbles it all away, throws it all away over obsession. That's Samuel Saul. Just a kid that wanted to be somebody, wanted to be a part of something greater, wanted to be not just another face in the crowd. But unfortunately, everybody's just a face in the crowd. Even Will Smith.
I got friends now. You ain't know, but I got friends now. I'm balling out with my friends now.